I remember the first year in college, constantly worrying
Morning, guys.
Hey, good morning.
Morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing? Who am I talking to there?
That's Michael Crouch.
Hey, Michael, what's going on, brother? Nice to have you on.
Thank you.
Yes, we're here nice and early. Great rising on this beautiful Mastery Monday. Who else we have here? We have Nathan. Nathan, what's up, brother? I hope you got my response via WhatsApp. Tyler, how we doing? Bronwyn, with your beautiful energy. Mr. Young, always happy to have you here. Leland, you're a stud. You know that. And then I have another number on here. How's everybody's weekend been? What are we present to this morning as we wait for Mr. Callaghy?
It was awesome.
Yeah, anything you'd like to share as far as last conversation, anything that you've been able to apply, anything new that you've seen for yourself in your life or business? Would love to kind of hear some of those thoughts as we wait for Mr. Callaghy.
I can share. Every Friday I train my sales.
You can go look.
And this past Friday we were doing role plays. And it was just all this new awareness I have. Girls trying to go through the flow of the script and just get to the end. It's not really a script, it's a flow.
Got it.
You know, and they weren't connecting. And so I just utilized what he's been teaching to ask the next question and go deeper and allow them to open up. And it's just already made a huge difference just on our team and how their mindset is around talking to all these people every day. So it's been really powerful. And they're like, oh my gosh, I just couldn't even think of it this way before. It's really been mind-blowing.
It's a whole new world. Welcome, Martha, as well. Do we have anyone else that jumped in? And Bronwyn, thank you for sharing that. It's always amazing to be present to like these minor shifts and these minor distinctions that just make all the difference. Kelly,
hey, happy Mastery Monday to everybody, and thanks for being on, and thanks Fernando for beginning to chat it up. I want to acknowledge everybody for being on the line and being ready to roll on a Monday morning. As usual, lots of fun, exciting stuff to share. But Fernando, what's happening out there, brother? How was your weekend?
Weekend was fantastic. Massive ecosystem merging happening. Spoke to Peter from our amazing dinner. Connecting with Jim at a different level. Things with Darcy are escalating and growing. I know she's celebrating her birthday in the city. Otherwise, she's not here. And also, outside of all this amazing acceleration, I made some very beautiful memories with my family. We spent some time in Dorney Park, and we do all this so we can have more, not only more money and less time, but also more magic. So I'm present to the magic that's happening.
That's awesome, man. Awesome. And so real quickly, what do you think, what do you attribute so the people you're talking about were some important relationships, ecosystem merger acceleration happening.
Yes.
What were some things that you think were contributing to those accelerations?
The dedication to the formula. One of the things that one of many, of course, that are sticking is the kind of mental, I forget what you call it, but when people read multiple books or watch multiple videos, it's like mental.
Intellectual entertainment.
Yes. So ever since I stopped doing that, and I'm a very avid person, and now I realized that part of me might have been doing that. I've been focusing only on the formula. I'm not watching anything else, seeing massive acceleration. And another like massive, massive distinction breakthrough is that the videos are for the person. The videos are not for anyone else. The videos are for the person. I always thought like make videos with all these people so they share it and they're following. And now that I have the distinction that the video is for them, it's like such a huge difference. It makes me so much more present when I film them. And since I filmed them and I posted them and other people post them, like in the Plaque group, for example, other people are reaching out. My heroic unique identity is rising because other people are saying it. My level of influence, the people reaching out to me is insane. Like, for example, Les Brown, yes, Les Brown called my cell phone because of an ecosystem merger I did with Courtney Epps. And it's like mind blowing because he wants to talk to me and he already has my unique identity and I've never met the guy. And this is Les Brown. So those are the type of connections that are happening at an expedited rate that have not happened like prior to these last 60 days. So that's what I'm present to.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. And so why are these things happening for Fernando? I would start it with the most simple explanation at his commitment to his level of mastery is rising, and that commitment to mastery is rising within the application of the results formula. So that is fantastic and awesome. I'm going to jump in for a bit and we'll kick it back for any questions, wins to share, comments in a moment. This weekend, I had and I think this is an awesome jump off point because I had this conversation with a bunch of people. So I was invited to speak at something called American Priorities, and American Priorities is an organization that is a conservative one that was predominantly focused on talking about First and Second Amendment rights as they apply to a variety of different things. My access point was that I am Calgi Law, my law firm, is suing Facebook for having a gentleman by the name of Jason Fick, who had 25 million followers through a variety of places, including his WTF magazine, which stood for Where's the Fun, and he was taken down for what we're saying was inappropriate reasons that were pretextual, but that's not the point of the call. So there, Jason Fick was speaking to, my client was speaking 2 slots in front of Donald Trump Jr. I had the opportunity to speak. And I think much more importantly, and some amazing things happened. I had people with millions of followers and online that were having challenges reaching their audience now because of changes in algorithms, et cetera. And so we're having conversations about that. Folks that have leadership programs that were endorsed, and quotes from Ronald Reagan, et cetera. So really interesting stuff. But most importantly, I thought about like, how is this structured and what are they doing to increase their movement and their following and what's happening? And here's where it drops in and has relevant application for everybody in the line. I say conservative, I say Republican, and there's reflexive reactions. So for everything, there's deeply embedded emotional reactions. And God forbid I say the word Donald Trump, and there's immediate reflexive reactions. And how and why those reactions have gotten to this place is not my point, but the point is there are. And for you, similarly, and for the people you're communicating with, there are reflexive reactions. And what I was noting when I was hearing speakers speak, what I was noting when I sat at tables at different moments. Now putting aside anything political, that this is a massive business opportunity for me. Massive business opportunity because these folks need support in a variety of different legal ways, in a variety of different influencing, selling ways, because first and foremost, everybody there is almost everybody there is a business owner or, having some career of some sort looking to expand what they're doing. And what I was noting so consistently was as they were talking about what to do, two things were exploding forward. And this is an organization that has an outcome that is to create the next president of the United States, right, in support of Donald Trump, was what these people are doing there. And what I was noticing were 2 things. In creating their movement, they had a tremendous failure have any specific call to action. So speakers were getting up on stage, and there was a lot of energy, not quite Tony Robbins level, but an attempt to bring some of that kind of energy there. And what I was hearing was go home and do something. Good people can't do nothing. So there's this wildly lacking in specificity call to action. Okay. Second, I was noting that there was no education and no training in how to disrupt what is. In what you're doing, as soon as you're considered to be a salesperson, there's an immediate reflexive wall that goes up, right, for you. As soon as you begin to move into a space, for, let's say for Fernando talking to the wonderful people he's talking to, there's like a reflexive reaction when you say sales training, accelerate your business, the word coaching. They're reflexive, as we talk about all the time, reactions. And that's why we had the phraseology pattern interrupt. As I was listening to these folks that similarly are seeking action, selling something, there was no training in the pattern interrupt. And so, yes, they can galvanize the people that believe in what they believe. And I'm not, for the purpose of this call, this is an apolitical commentary. I'm not saying to believe or not to believe anything, right? I'm simply evaluating how people would behave in an educational process, an influencing process. What I was seeing was no structure to empower people, first with a pattern interrupt, and second with what to do from there. So my point is that already, and I have one more point to make, that already on this phone call, you folks are more empowered to sell and influence and to teach sell and influence than some people whose names you would have heard before, who are speaking on stage in front of people. And to them, and quite frankly, for our country on either side, one of the most important things that will have occurred in our lifetime is this upcoming presidential election. However you believe, like both sides believe that this is the most important thing that's going to occur in our lifetime. At the same time, there was no galvanized structure process to attract, draw people, and to create a movement, because there was no specific focus and there's no model of how to go ahead and do it. And you, right now, will be empowered to teach them things. In fact, teach people on either side things to create massive acceleration, because I'm also confident that things function like that on the left. So incredibly interesting to me that in something where there was this much energy, caring, passion, money, in fact, I shouldn't be surprised, because this is like what life is. So in this Mastery Monday, I'm going to awaken alive to the concept of the superpowers that we're developing in this space to help and support people. In addition, on Friday, I had the privilege. A little feedback. Could you mute yourself? Whoever just, I think, went on speaker. I had the privilege to speak in front of a large bank in New Jersey, not a national bank, but a New Jersey bank with 80 bank branches, which would put them somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 to 200 salespeople overall. I spoke in front of their mortgage division, and it was remarkable, to just give you a social proof moment. It was remarkable to see how in the beginning of the conversation, similar to every one of these conversations that we share, there was knowingness, there was folks that were quite closed off. And over the course of our just under 2-hour training, by the end of it, the sales leader for the entire bank who was there, certainly over this section that we're dealing with, which is the mortgage team, but over all salespeople for the entire bank, said these words: "I've never seen anything like this. We have to hire these, Sean and his team to come in and train everyone. Like, let's get this done." So that was the immediate outcome as a byproduct, without even getting to the ask for, what was happening next. So that's well underway. And that happened 3 times last week with major sales groups and teams. Like, I've never seen this. How does that apply to you? Right. Number one, it means that you're learning that and to increase your level of certainty. But I also want to get to this. What's going to make you attractive to all the people that you're selling and influencing to is your ability to add value. And as you add value to their life in any way, not just directly through your products and services, but also by sharing, by being open, by giving them acknowledgement, validation, listening. There's enormous power. But as you begin to share with them the things that you're learning here, you're adding massive value to their life. Case in point. So let's let that land for a second. One of the great, I'll say it this way again, one of the great values that you can add to people's lives is when you add value to them by teaching them to do what they want to do, which is to gain more influence over people and teach them the things that you're learning here. So after all the discussions, that we're having, I ended up in a private meeting at somebody's home yesterday in Miami. And in that meeting, we were talking about all the things I'm talking about here. These are some of the people who were in leadership in the organization, who've held political office, who've done some incredible things, who've been frequently on the news, who have, widely distributed podcasts. And so we're having these conversations, and at some point, and Fernando, you'll appreciate this, at some point, one of the leaders in the room said, wait a minute, you're that Sean Callagy?
Nice.
Like Kelly Hanna? Like Zeus Energy? So this person, Fernando, knew Zeus Energy, knew Kelly Hanna, and knew the results formula as I'm sitting in the room, and at one point had one of the most widely distributed podcasts, viewed by millions before there was other shutdowns and, different things that happened with the war that's going on with social media companies, and that's its own story. But it was remarkable. So I'm sitting in Miami, somebody I don't know, tremendous influencer who knows Zeus Energy, Sean Callagy, and has had our work edified by one of our awesome partners and dear friends, Kelly Hanna, and it was just a remarkable moment in the conversation. In addition, it went from I'm the stranger in the room, a lot of knowingness. There was about 10 people that were there, but like leaders this after I had spoken the day before, and they're sitting in the room with all kinds of knowingness, all kinds of talking about challenges. And at some point, watch this, because I want you to remember your pattern interrupts. So remember your pattern interrupts. And that's a huge outcome for the theme of today's Mastery Monday. So I said at some point, I said, hey, listen, I don't know anything. I'm new to this conversation, and I know I've heard a few things, but could I share an observation as an outside person? Now, this was after deep listening. This was after some acknowledgments and validation, but a lot of level 5 listening going on by me. And they said, sure. And all of a sudden it's like silence and everybody kind of chattering. I said, with love, I said, I'm hearing all kinds of problems. I'm hearing all kinds of things that you're frustrated and upset about. And I acknowledge and validate your pain, your challenges, your heart, all of it. I said, but I'm not hearing any solutions. I said, could I ask this? It's Sunday, and you've all spent a number of days, doing what you're doing. You did an incredible job, putting energy and time in. Why did you come to this home today? Like, what's your outcome? And there was like shock, but they felt the love. And this one gentleman who was, sort of a, alpha hierarchically in this group, who held, multiple political offices, said, you know what, you're right. You're right. And it was just like enormous access, and everybody wanted my information. Everybody's like, said all these, wonderful things. But my point is that is available for you. And when you listen, and then my client, conversely, who's a beautiful soul, and I had this conversation with him multiple times, he clearly wants attention, clearly has a lot to offer. He just kept talking. He kept interrupting. He kept trying to show what he knew, and it was adding no value. And afterwards, he said to me, he's like, that was interesting. And then he started sharing. I said, so explain this to me. And I'm like, just answer my specific question, A, B, C. He's like, well, I'm not going to explain it your way. I'm going to do it my way. And I Zeus energied him in that moment. I said, boom. I said, you're going to do it my way, or you're not going to get my support and help. I said, I've listened to your way. And I'm going to be direct and tell you, you didn't achieve your outcomes today. You had this gathering to demonstrate who and what you are. I said, thank you, because, and fortunate for you, I demonstrated who and what I am. And these people want and see their future in me. They don't see their future in you. And I edified you. I gave you opportunities to talk because you have so much to give and offer, but you didn't follow the approach that we shared and talked about. So you're going to do it my way or no way. So second point for today is pattern interrupt, great. Second is when it's appropriate, in love, after you've given, added value, gone through the steps, you can create massive clarity and disruption and give people the indispensable element called scarcity from a place of integrity, because your time is too important to chase people. So Fernando, I told you that I was in Zeus mode. I shared with you a concept like that recently about somebody. And when it comes time, you can drop in like that with anyone, because you're in integrity. Your time is too valuable. You have too many people to share with, coach, train, lead, open up doors for, all of you, everybody in this line. And so in this Mastery Monday, we come from places of love and give and positivity. And yeah, you can drop in with some Zeus and tell people the truth. When it comes time to have scarcity, have clarity, to interrupt patterns, and that is it. That's what we do here.
That's massive.
So, yeah. So why is that? And I'll drop back in one. Go ahead, brother.
Just what I'm present to, and I want to bring everyone to it, is like the power of that micro distinction. I humbly and proudly, consider myself a student of this formula, and right there, that what he just said, the last 10 seconds, massive like distinction, because until that moment, every time I thought scarcity, I thought evil, not good, don't use it, doesn't work, inappropriate. But the distinction of when used after rapport, when used with love, and when used in that intention, makes all the difference. And that's like a whole new access for me. I'm thinking of like 40 people that in that specific context I can use that to, that I have rapport, that I have love, where now I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. On the opposite, I'm loving them enough to value me and their time. So that right there
Absolutely.
is like such a mind altering shift.
Yeah, and by the way, it was wildly effective. And he's like, well, just the way I do it. I said, the way you're doing it is suboptimal, period. So even it's suboptimal, right? It is suboptimal. I said, who did those people pay more attention to today, me or you? So just answer the question. Who did they pay more attention to? You know them. They know you had 25 million followers. They don't know me. And you spoke 10 times more than I did. But you didn't ask any questions. You didn't listen deeply. You didn't powerfully convey your unique identity. You just kept like chattering and like adding in stuff to get the attention back to you. I said, that is the exact opposite of what works. And I said, by the way, that may work in certain situations, but it never works nearly as well as we're talking about. And it never works when the results formula and integrity-based human influence is present. It loses every time dramatically to it. Now, you're why you're fortunate is, number one, I love you, and number two, your source. So I will respect this high, process in the hierarchy, but every one of these people, by the way, wants to talk more to me, and before I know it, they're going to be asking me to coach leadership in this event. The next thing we know, they're going to be setting up meetings with like Donald Trump Jr. for me, or wanting to. Like, that's what's going to happen. I know it. Like, I know it like I know my name. The next thing that's going to happen is they're going to be asking me to coach like Donald Trump. That's going to happen. If I decided to. I don't really want that to happen at this juncture, but if I wanted it to, that's what would happen. That's the level of certainty, client and friend, that I have over this process. Does that land? That's what I said. And so he's like, yes. So Fernando, everybody in the line, that is your access point. And it's in love. Now remember, it's after rapport, after adding value, and it's got to be done truthfully. I didn't manipulate one fact. And when scarcity, becomes evil and pattern interrupts become evil, is when they're designed to be disruptive, selfish, and false. Disruptive, selfish, and false. Any of those things. Because I'm, in different ecosystems, which I value and acknowledge and love, but sometimes they'll say, hey, you know what, this is virtually sold out. There's only X seats left. And that's untrue. And when it's untrue, that to me is when it's wrong. And people could still be well-intentioned, meaningful. They could just have a habitual pattern of approaching scarcity that way. And it might work to some degree, but it really doesn't because people know it's there and it diminishes credibility overall. Okay. So that said, we are over time already, so thank you for incredible time and attention. Does anybody have anything they want to share? Outcomes for today were Mastery Monday, connect to never-ending increases in level of mastery, utilizing pattern interrupts and scarcity effectively, and certainly increasing certainty in what you're doing and acknowledging you for being here and being here consistently. Awesome. Any questions, thoughts, challenges? Take one and then we'll jump.
I have a few, but a chance as well. Go ahead.
If anybody does going once, going twice, Fernando, go ahead. What do you got, bud?
Great. So with pattern interrupt, to stay on that vein, so on the calls that I've had for different and our coaching program, when we get to agreement formation, I always get asked the question, so like, is this, do I have a certain amount of time? Until when can I buy? And I've been trying something, and it's amazing how it's landing, is that instead of jumping into scarcity, people are so like conditioned for like limited time offer. You only have 7 days. It's going to double in price in 30 days. That I go the opposite. Like people expect Zeus at that moment. I go goddess, and I say, you know what? Sean, I'm going to be honest with you. There is no real time limit. What we are looking for are people who are ready to say yes, who are comfortable in like taking steps into what they're looking for, more time, more money, less time, more magic and fulfillment. And if that's you, Sean, I'd love to have your leadership be present in our group. And they're almost like so taken aback that I'm not adding scarcity, but I'm not adding scarcity at the same time, but I'm doing it with love, and people react better to that. So possible access point, a few other things quickly. Because Darcy's on the call. I don't like talk about people because I like them. I talk about people because I like them and they're doing things in the world. So perfect example of ecosystem merger and frictionlessness is if you look at our chat right here in the Zoom call, when I was talking about Les Brown, Darcy was like, hey, I know this person, JT, who works really closely with Les Brown. We should connect. Like, I didn't ask Darcy. I didn't tell Darcy. Darcy didn't even know I was talking to Les Brown. But because of the relationship we have, which, by the way, 3 weeks ago was like, who the fuck are you? I don't want you talking to anyone I know. Like, why the fuck are you, like, talking to my people? Sorry for all the F-bombs, but that's how it happened. And now she's, like, talking every weekend, calling each other on each other's birthdays, inviting each other out. That's the power of this formula. And like, it's happening literally within this group text, like not making this up. It's happening. Look at it. It's right there. A few other things. Want to acknowledge Nathan. Nathan reached out asking about the event, is looking to do whatever is possible for him to be there. Not the event, the game in January. So Nathan, I want to acknowledge you for doing what you need to do to be there. Dean was able to create the possibility of his job covering the event, the game, in January. So Dean is going to be joining us. So thank you, Dean, for doing what's possible. And finally, to finish off as a call to action for everyone, Sean defined adding value today as giving people what they want. So what I'm going to challenge you to do is not 3 people. So hopefully you get one. We're a group of integrity here. I'm going to say, share what's happening here with one person. Share with them. And here's my promise. Here's my declaration. Here's my fucking stand. The truth is, as you share this with people, you're the one getting access. Like, ingrain that into your mind. You're not only, because you are giving them access, when you share this formula, this group, these trainings, this game in January with people, this formula, you are the one walking away with access. And why I can say that, like with 100% certainty, not 99, 100, is because that's exactly what I'm doing. The more I shared, and it's counterintuitive because you think, oh, I'm sharing this, I'm doing this for Sean. Sean is like eternally grateful. But what I want you to walk away with is that you're the one that's benefiting. Sean is, we are, you are also the one benefiting. So my challenge to you is share with one person. one person. Share with them what the daily huddles look like. Share with them what the training looks like. And if they have any interest, I'd love to be of support to you in service of getting them on the call. And we would like to grant them one free huddle, one free training. Anyone in your ecosystem that you want to merge with, grow your relationship with, please share this with them. Leverage me, leverage Darcy, leverage Teresa and Tiffany, and let us communicate with them in service of whatever merger you want to do. So that's the call to action for today is please share the huddles with one person, share the trainings, and I'd like to give you one free access for one free huddle or one free training to anyone in your ecosystem, and I would love to be the person to invite them with you. That is all.
Yeah. And I'll say one more thing, Fernando, let's capture this and with everybody. So for this week, and we are over, I want to share tomorrow about how I'm sitting on this Thursday with the president of the New Jersey Bar Association, the #1 life insurance agent in the country, somebody who has 10,000 business owner clients, the head of the Counseling Society of New Jersey, the head of the Accounting Society of New Jersey, and the week after I'm speaking in front of the top 150 realtors in the state of New Jersey. Like, how does that happen? And how can it happen for you? Because that's my dinner. And when you bring people together, it edifies you. It supports them. That's what ecosystem merger is, and everybody wins. So we're going to pick up there tomorrow. Have an amazing Mastery Monday. Talk to you in a bit.
Blessings. Bye, everyone. Great rising. Happy Mastery Monday. We'll talk soon. See you in the WhatsApp.
Hey, Sean, it's Kurt from AFB. Awesome. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Kurt,
Bye, guys.
happy to have you here, brother.
You.
Bye-bye.
Woo! This is how we do it.
Love you, Mr. Fox.
Love you, Fernando, man. Peace out, y'all.